Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. How is everybody doing? Welcome on in, Welsh boy. Hello, hello, sir. Good to see you. I'm doing well. I am doing well. My name is Tom. I am the Astro Canuck. And, well, usually we are going to be sharing live images of the night sky soon. Soon we'll be doing that. However, we are still waiting for the cargo ship to arrive in Montreal, and then eventually to Toronto, and we will be underway with our telescope in the back garden. But for now, we have our regular rainy day astronomy session, although it is fairly good weather out here tonight. But good to see you guys in here. Good to see you guys tonight. We're just kind of doing a little bit of a rebuild, and we're going to look at some single shot images that I shot earlier this week. And also just a little bit of a blunder that I did with the images, so we'll just try to see what kind of detail we can pull out of them and see really what we can do. It's it's these next few streams are going to be some rebuilding. We're going to be doing some rejigging of things. I got a few of the channel point redeems are kind of back up there, and we'll have a few more. Like, I'm still working on some new ones that are going to be coming up there. Tempted to wear your Canadians shirt. Oh man, you know what? I watched the Canadians play last night, and they forgot to show up against Tampa Bay. But it's hard as a diehard Maple Leafs fan. It is really tough to cheer for the Canadians. Werewolf, good. Very early morning. How are you doing tonight? Quiglius, a good evening to you. Good to see you in here. Notification just came. The notification had just gone out there. We're actually 6 minutes in. So really, it's actually the notification for me. It popped up really quick. Usually I get like a 3-minute grace before the notification goes out. And it's like as soon as I hit the stream, it popped up. So I'm like, oh, okay. Well, we'll be ready to go shortly. Thor! Thor, how you doing, sir? Good. Glad you're not wearing a Blue Jays jersey. We'd have words otherwise. No, I'm going back. I'm going back to a throwback. Way back with the last game at Maple Leaf Gardens for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and hey, Welsh boy, thank you very much for the 10 bits. A little bit of a throwback for the Maple Leafs there. I was debating on whether or not if I was going to wear a local sports team jersey on the first stream back. I figured I'd switch it up with the UK shirt the other night. So there's maybe there might be a larger repertoire of jerseys and T-shirts available. Quiglius! Raining down 1,000 bits. Thank you very much! Very much appreciated. Thank you there, Quiglius, for the 1,000 bits. Thor, you're doing well, just early in the morning. Very early in the morning for you guys. I know some of our European viewers, it is 2, perhaps 3 in the morning, so appreciate you guys popping on in there, hanging out for a little bit there. Like I said, I am really gunning towards getting that solar scope so we can have these midday streams, early morning streams, depending on how the weather is going to be. And yeah, just kind of keep that almost a very similar schedule, but just a different time of day for me. Like I said, I'll open up. I'll show you which scope I was looking at, and I did. Let me bring this up. Yeah, you're heading to bed. It's 1 a.m. in the UK. Well, I appreciate you guys saying hello, coming in before you head off to bed there. But it's like I said, I don't want to leave you guys out. I want to be able to still see as many people as possible. And yeah, like I said, it's here's the. Let's get that the scope pulled up there. New Teddy, hello. You're going to be looking for now? No worries. Glad to see you in here. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing very well today. It's this is the scope we're looking at there. Third Rock. What's going on, sir? How are you? Yeah, and I will get everything is all out of order here. Well, slightly out of order. We'll get that sorted out there. But this is the scope I'm looking at, the Solar Scout 60DS, not the bundle. I just have to get a hold of, pardon me, the guys at Ontario Telescope and Accessories just to see if they have maybe a time frame on this scope coming in there. I did talk with Chuck Ayub from Chuck's Astrophotography about the scope, and he said he loved it. He got it as a review item, but he said either way he really enjoyed it, and he still kind of uses it from time to time. But I think for the price and for what I want it to do, I think this is going to be the perfect scope. So once all its finances moving from the UK to Canada, that's all going to be sorted out next week with the intent of finding this, if it's not through Ontario Telescope and Accessories, someone else kind of fairly local. This is a scope that we're going to look to get so we can actually do some solar imaging, do some daytime streams. I'm looking forward to that. And I'm also looking forward to doing more research on the fine details of the sun as well. I know I watched a few other streams that have shown they've been looking at the sun, looking at Econ Greg, watching him, having him look at the sun with a bit more of a heftier telescope. I think for the cameras that we have and everything, this is going to work out really well. I've already kind of taken a look at the field of view. I'll most likely be using the smaller 120mm mini for our imaging camera, because that's going to have a nice. Well, it's going to look larger in the image there. That's 1100 Canadian plus tax. That's the other thing all the prices I'm looking at now are less tax. Everything I was looking at in the UK, everything was good. Everything was, all the VAT was included. So it was just, there's the price, there it is. That's what I'm expected to pay. I don't have to do any extra math. So yeah, it says it's on back order. I don't know. I'll even check like maybe some of the used, like the buy and sell sections there. See if we can maybe score one that way there. Third Rocky, you're tired, but the weather behaves. You'll be done with NGC 6914 on the 9th. Hopefully. How many hours are you looking to put into that? Because, I mean, that is looking amazing. Because that's another thing. Also, well, I haven't touched Stellarium at the moment. I did get a better look at the positioning of where I am. We're going to have the scope set up in the back garden, and I'm going to have a larger window to the south than I did in England. So I'm really looking forward to that. I am pretty much 100% positive we're going to be able to look at the M16, at the Eagle Nebula, and take a look at the Pillars of Creation for the first time through my scope, once everything is all set up there, and as long as everybody is agreeable with the positioning. It's looking like I have a wide view to the west, northwest. I will be working on fixing up my view to the east, with maybe a tiny bit of a trim of a tree, just to maybe get a little more of a view, just get a little bit better view there, because it'll be kind of limited, but at the same time, the majority of the positioning of everything isn't going to be too bad. Eastern targets are going to have to wait until, they're a little higher on the horizon. But at the same time, I think it's not going to be too bad. I think we're going to be able to get some really good imaging. Also, with a better view to the west, west and south, that there will be a little more. There will be more options, more opportunities for planetary imaging, and to be able to look at Saturn and Jupiter for the first time on stream. I'm looking forward to that as well, and hopefully, if it is going to be in a good position, as well as Pluto. I know it's going to be an extremely tiny little dot, but if we can look at Pluto and just kind of imagine sitting in Clyde Tombaugh's position when he's first discovering Pluto, and I know that it's it's going to be, here's a dot, here's a little point of light, and that is going to be Pluto. It'll be rather ridiculously unremarkable, but at the same time, to image, I think we got Uranus, and I think it's almost a lock that we're going to be able to image Saturn and Jupiter. I don't know if it's going to be easy. We most likely are going to be able to get Venus, but I think Mercury would be a really nice score later on in the seasons. But yeah, I think we got some excellent positions there for some good imaging there. You got up to 16 hours, 5 minutes now, 10 hours, 45 minutes on the P2 broadband, 5 hours, and 20 minutes on the narrowband filter so far. 4.5 hours a night. That's not too bad. That's really good. We're loading that one up there. Man, that's going to look really, really cool. Looking forward to seeing that there. I mean, you already have like some amazing detail that's already come through. So I mean, just to see it just tack on the hours for that. That's going to be, yeah, looking forward to seeing that. I think it's a target that, like I shot it before. I don't even actually have the. Do I have the files here? Let's see. But I mean, it's just such an interesting little section of the Cygnus area, and because it's just a nice wide field, the wide ocean of hydrogen alpha, and that little tiny reflection nebula in that position. So I think it looks really, really cool. Now I've done a little bit of work on the lighting as well, not too. Still, it's going to be a work in progress. The camera is in a weird position as well. Not only have you guys have kind of caught me going for the old position of the camera, which I can probably put it back into that position for myself later on. We'll see. But it's going to be a little bit of a change. It's still going to be an ongoing change. Like I say, this isn't going to be the final view of how things are going to look on the channel, but right now I think it's going to be an interesting go of it, just to see what we can do, where we can evolve from here. It's the joys of an emission gas cloud with a reflection nebula in the center. It's like the intergalactic Tootsie Pop or something like that. But yeah, but I think it is a really, really interesting section of the night sky there. Tricky one to capture, right? Hands down, it was a great choice to test the optics on the camera. I mean, you've done the progress images that you've been sending over there and posting. It's looking really amazing. Like, that I want to go back and try it even with the longer focal length, and just kind of really focus in on that reflection nebula area and see what can be done. And just the way how, at least I already have, I have the time, the astronomical darkness. I have, where are we coming? We've already passed the. We've already passed the summer solstice, so the nights are getting longer. And, astronomical dark right now from tonight is 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. So I got 4, from tonight onwards, I have at least 4 hours of astronomical dark available. So once the scope rolls in, and I know that as soon as it does, all the clouds are going to descend upon my town, but that's just the way that's how everything goes there. So there is the 6-day forecast, and on the 8th is when the scope and everything is projected to land in Montreal. So hopefully not too much longer after that, it'll be available for me to pick up. Everything paperwork-wise is all in order, so it's really just a matter of going to collect it and bringing it over. And yeah, I will try to get that set up as quickly as possible because I don't want to miss out on any more of the night sky available to us. And I think everything will probably everything will be set up, and it'll be a full moon. Like we could probably be at 1%, and then the next day, by some crazy astronomical event, it'll turn into a full moon. It's all about the amount of time you spend on it. We don't. All the bad frames keep the best of the best, and it makes amazing results. I was watching I don't know if you watched it as well. The one of the latest videos that Dylan O'Donnell had put out with Centaurus A, and how he had a great deal of hours put in on the target, but he cut out a whole lot of data from there. And I tried that with one of my previous images, and it did seem to work a little bit better. That you weed out all of those, even just the tiniest bit of bad data that's in there, and it can make a much bigger difference and easier to do there. Exactly what you did. Okay, perfect. Excellent. Tomorrow is your only trash day. Clear outside. Has it red overnight, probably because of 4th of July. Oh, yeah, that's right. That'll probably do it there. You need to get a Dudley Do-Right toy or shirt. There will be some more. There are definitely going to be some more little Easter eggs I'm going to put around here. Actually, it's not. It's better. I have more opportunity now to throw little Easter eggs in the background and in different places as well. So, yeah, definitely looking forward to that. I don't think, actually, saying Easter eggs, I don't even think I have any Easter eggs set up on here at the moment. I was using a previous version of Leorin board, had to upgrade all of that. So, like, let's say there's only a few channel point redeems that I have active on here. I have all I think all the main alerts now are working with the bit alerts, the different levels of that, our subscriptions, our raids. The raids worked out really well last time, so that's cool. And yeah, it's I'm trying not to like really rejig a lot in the channel here, because I know once the computer comes back, there are a few things that are going to carry over that I'll have to implement on there. But yeah, the options are there for some interesting stuff. You got to make some changes to your mount parameters, the auto meridian flip. What did it do there? Is it not working, or are you making it flip later? I haven't seen it listed on the Knowledge Fellowship website yet. I think, was it Uncle Bill or somebody was mentioning their main website? I don't know if it was updated. I am on their Discord channel. I've been listed as their in the physical sciences. Let's see, where's the Discord there? Actually, I noticed that there was a tweet was put out by the Knowledge Fellowship alerting that I went live. So they're on the ball with that there. What do we got? So those who have popped into the channel tonight, welcome in. It is it's usually 8:30 p.m. is usually not a time I've been streaming very often. On a Saturday, at least. So, good to see you guys in here. And we are just there we are, on the Physics and Astronomy, Astro Canuck, Amateur Astrophotography. So I think there's still a bit of work that they're doing on the channel there. But yeah, no, it's a wonderful group to be a part of, and everybody's doing such amazing work on there. So I'm always trying to kind of keep an eye out for more who are in the Knowledge Fellowship, and really just see who else we might. I think there's an opportunity as well to be introducing you guys to some new streams, and maybe find out some other people who we haven't either had an opportunity to raid before, who have been popping in on the channel, who've been friends of the channel for quite a while, and just being able to grow that bit of that network, that increase that circle of friends on Twitch. And just being able to see someone new and cool, and just having being able to hang out with someone else who shares like a similar interest that you may not have otherwise found out on Twitch, because searching for something general is a little tough sometimes. So not used to saying 8 p.m. and looking down my clock and, oh yeah, I'm in Eastern Standard Time now. I know, right? Steven! Hello! Hello, sir. How are you? Good to see you in here tonight. How are you doing this evening? Mike. Yes, you were mentioning you had those those glass planets, and you shared them on our Discord before. That's so cool. Yeah, Sage is awesome. She's a fun stream to hang out in as well. Is she streaming right now? See, that's the other thing, is I have I have so few windows open on this on the laptop, because the CPU, like, everything eats it up so quick. So I don't have the the computing power to have so much going on at the moment. No. Yeah, all right. We got a few wonderful people streaming tonight. Keep some of them in mind for who we might raid out to later on in the evening. I'm not too sure what time I'll be streaming till tonight. I don't have an early tee off time tomorrow. Yeah, I'm golfing. But at the same time, it's not too bad. I'll be all right. You're doing just dandy, popping in and out most of the stream. That's all right. No worries. Glad to have you in here. Whether you guys are lurking or chatting in the stream there. Did I subscribe to BritBox? No, I have not. How much is start watching for free? $8.99 a month. I'd have to see if they There may be some shows. I'll talk with Mrs. Canuck and see if she might be interested in adding BritBox to things. But there's only been like a few programs. Just a few. So if it's BBC and ITV, you can get some of the Great British whatever programs. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye. Actually, it's been watching TV right now has been. Well, we're so far behind. We're what 3 episodes behind on Loki. At least 2. So I'm trying to avoid. And I'm catching glimpses of possible spoilers on social media all over the place. So there's like some memes popping up. I'm like, don't laugh. We got hooked on Coronation Street. Nope, it's all right. But we also love documentaries. Gardener's World. Hello. Welcome to Gardener's World. I love Monty Don. That was our Sunday morning. That was Sunday mornings watching Gardener's World. Is Gardener's World on BritBox? It must be. It is. No. Oh. Dang it. It was such an easy start to the Sunday morning. Yeah. Darn it, that might be it. That might be what cinches it. Just for Gardener's World. Just for Monty Don in the morning. Hello. Oh, hello. Good to see you there. I want a good laugh? Let's have another good laugh. Red Dwarf. I watched Red Dwarf like when I was a lot younger, kind of like right along with like Doctor Who, which Tom Baker just always scared the ever-loving shit out of me. I don't know why. Just something about his face. I don't know what it was, but Loki. I know. I don't know how we fell behind on Loki. I think it's just the I don't know, the new social schedule that's gonna come up there. We gotta. It's still. I'm 3 weeks into Canada, so there's still a lot of fine tuning to put out there. But yeah, we say Doctor Who's classic and new. I did start. Mother-in-law Canuck does enjoy Doctor Who, so the odd time when we do catch it, I'll watch it with her. I think I've always managed to catch a lot of or seen even just reruns of the when they change over to like new Doctors. That's always interesting to watch. And this always, even just seeing some like other memes associated with Doctor Who, and always catching those on a program. That's always funny. You change your USB disconnect sound in Windows 2. Now go away, or I shall taunt you a second time. Because my QHY guide camera likes to randomly disconnect from USB from time to time in the middle of imaging. I mean, that's not bad. What I would like to do when you unplug your phone, or when you plug in your phone, and you get, a little boop, boop, some kind of notification that you are charging. What I want to find out if there's a way to get into the phone somehow, some way to whenever you pull out the cord from charging, it'll get a Wilhelm scream. What a phone that does that. For any sort of trauma that happens on the phone, I want a Wilhelm scream to happen. There's got to be a way. I mean, there has to be a way. Essentially, these are tiny little computers. We should be able to get in there somehow and make a sound associate with that there. In fact, actually, what I need to somehow work in a Wilhelm scream. I don't know where. I don't know why or how, but there needs to be a Wilhelm scream incorporated into the stream somehow. It should be a fairly random event. Actually, there was an alternative to Leorin board, because I was watching Nutty's stream, and DJ Teo, the genius who has created so many amazing things for streaming and is an amazing VJ online as well. He has started using, I think it's called Firebot. Firefox bot? Starfox? Firebot or something like that. I gotta check back. I have it written down somewhere. That he's incorporating the new printing software into instead of Leorin board. So once that is put out there, we can start doing some more interesting things with the receipts and just making more customized options. Make it so everybody is going to have the same kind of looking receipt. So I can do a lot more customizing. So he's really diving into this program where there's so many more options. But I noticed that there was also different events that you could assign, because it would listen to like everything in Twitch. So there can be events that happen if someone gets banned or someone is, or at least is timed out. There can be something associated with that. So I think maybe, not that it happens that often. I think we can probably count on like one hand how many times we've banned somebody in the channel. But maybe we could have a Wilhelm stream in there. Something like that. Or if somebody lurks, I don't know. Something. We'll see. But yeah, it's just that there seems to be more options that we can do to really customize a lot of the events that happen on the channel. So really make things a lot more dynamic. And because right now there's very limited options to what we have available at the moment, because there are only so few screens that we have working right now, so they're kind of just popping back and forth between here and the internet at the moment. But I am hoping that we will quickly be able to get a lot of the previous setup working with very little hiccups. Now, I've already done a bit of a change with the lighting a little bit there. Swapped out one of the jury-rigged lights that I had that was kind of a very old lamp that I was using, and frankly, it was a bit of a fire hazard. So after that first stream, I'm thinking, no, don't want to be worrying about that. Don't need to all of a sudden, boy, it seems to be getting really, really flickery and bright on this side all of a sudden, and then half the room lights up. That's not what we want. What I am looking to do a little bit later on is to, like I said, I'd taken some pictures while we were in a, let me see, like I keep saying Bortle 3. Let me get a better... No, that's not it. That says Bortle 4. Bortle 3 or 4. So yeah, about that. It was a lot less light pollution. Yeah, we were in a Bortle 4. Okay, not too bad. So yeah, that's where we were in a Bortle 4. I was doing some very, very rough astrophotography in there, and because there was clouds, there was a fair amount of low clouds, but there's still enough time to get some images of the stars with very, very short exposures. But actually, they weren't turning out too bad. The only hitch is that I noticed when I went back into the images, I noticed I had no raw files. It wasn't my camera I was using, So I didn't quite twig right away that it was just shooting JPEG. It wasn't shooting RAW and JPEG. So yes, I'll be editing already compressed images. But I'm kind of hoping that maybe some of them will be alright. I mean, I got a lot of clouds. A lot of clouds. I actually got some images of fireflies. Just a quick peek at that, because I thought it was kind of cool. I hadn't seen fireflies in ages. This camera I was using was a Nikon D5600. So I mean, the JPEG files alone are already 12, 13 megabytes. So they're fair size JPEGs to work with. And really, it's only just trying to maybe accentuate some of the details that just might be hiding a tiny bit there. Just to see, I mean, I was shooting out towards Vega and Cygnus, and did a couple of shots to the south, but they didn't turn out that well. However, this is a place I would like to go back to with a generator and try to do some really good deep sky imaging. If possible, even do I'd really like to see how to kind of reliably get a nice signal set up to do a remote stream out here, because it's southern Ontario, the area that I was in, and it's very nice and quiet around there. Big open fields. So the opportunity is there. There is some power that I can use, but I'd be far away. I have to be far away enough from the power source, so I need to get some generators hooked up. I really would like to be able to do something like that. Now, I know we do have our goal up here, which is for an outdoor stream. That will most likely be trying to get things set up to do an outdoor stream here in this backyard. Now, that is, I'm definitely not excluding the possibility of doing outdoor stream elsewhere. I think now that we're better managing things with COVID, and I am more comfortable being out in the general public again. I mean, there's still some facets that I'm not up for. However, it's knowing that there's more people that are in the bubble that are fully vaccinated, and people working towards being able to get back towards a proper normal life, that maybe there could be small groups of some trusted people that we can actually do a live virtual mini star party together, and try to make a stream out of that. Because I know there have been a couple people that have reached out asking if I was interested in going out just for some stargazing, just like a general dark sky area. So I think if we can kind of get something organized there and just have almost a bit of just even like a roundtable discussion, where it's just more of, more stories, kind of more ideas being bounced off of one another, a bit more of a dynamic forum. However, still doing things like this, I really can't wait for that freighter, for that ship to come in, so I can get all the equipment set up here. I did take another picture of the back garden that is going to be much better to kind of clean up and cut out, which I will work on later on in the week. And it's going to be what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to go because like I said, it was such a long time from the last time I set up the back garden in Stellarium. So I want to go back through that and actually kind of make just a. I know a lot of people have done it before on YouTube, but just to start to dip my toes into YouTube and start putting out a little more evergreen content, just to see how it goes. I mean, it's of the idea of what I want to do for the full-time content creation, to try and get the ball rolling a little more with this. I think for the most part, having these videos on YouTube, the VODs from Twitch, it's more that is for like just my reference, and if anybody is like going to be popping back on there, if there has been expired videos on Twitch that haven't been put up there, and I think there have actually been a few that I've missed out on that I need to get back to uploading on Twitch, or uploading back on YouTube for some of the VODs. But at the same time, there is that bit of that kind of ephemeral nature to Twitch, you know, where these VODs don't last on here forever. You know, we are having these live and dynamic conversations. Aside from like with YouTube, that's meant to be that evergreen content and go back to that for reference. Whereas coming back on Twitch, you know, this is where you have the conversation, you have these immediate interactions, and just be able to share the stories, ask your questions, air grievances of certain processes and bits of equipment that actually didn't work out as well as you had hoped for. So if there are any kind of genuine kind of buyer beware stories, I have yet to really come across a product that has just absolutely failed me at the moment. There have been a few pieces of equipment that I have bought that have been unwrapped. I looked at it, and that was it. I have a couple intervalometers sitting around somewhere. Actually, they're being shipped over, and yeah, they haven't seen the light of, well, they wouldn't see the light of day so much as they would just have the light of the moon. But I am still keeping it in the back of my head to get another star tracker, and if not even, I would like to go back to the Star Adventure. However, I think just for the sake of having another opinion, another bit of experience on another piece of kit, that I would probably want to be able to look at maybe the Ioptron Sky Tracker or the Ioptron Sky Guider, just to see how those ones work out there. Big Zinc, how you doing tonight? Missed the first stream, but you're here now. No worries, glad to see you. How have you been? Good to see you. We are here on a Saturday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Saturday evening, live from Canada. It's Astro Canuck. It is a bit of a weird. It's going to feel a little weird for me. I don't know if it feels any bit weird for you guys, but it is. It's interesting. It's new. It's exciting. I'm looking forward to what we're going to be able to do. I think there was a certain limitation where I was in England. I feel that there's just so many more opportunities right now in the area that I'm in that we're going to be able to try out some other bits of equipment, just experiment a little more with the imaging system as well, and see what can and can't be done. We'll push what's the upper limit of what's complete garbage that is just not worth processing, and you know what's like some of the minimum bits that we can work on there. You've been great. I've been doing well, thank you very much. Moving is actually, it hasn't been too bad. Okay, downplaying a little bit. I mean, I was beat up. Moving a house by yourself is it's tough, and those who have done it, I feel for you, and I understand your pain and frustration. And it's only now, how long has it been? Three and a half weeks that I'm starting to feel like I'm recovering. It has been yeah, just quite the journey, where it has been like it's just so much moving, so much to keep track of, and I really thank Mrs. Canuck for helping out logistics wise where she could while I was in the UK and she was here. And we essentially did a double move when she moved to Canada back in September, and I here a few weeks ago. But it's coming. I don't even want to say it's coming to an end, because eventually there's going to have to be another move. But at least that big move, that big, massive undertaking of getting our life from point A in the UK to point B in Canada is coming to an end in that regard. Like I said, the container ship is on its way, expecting to make port in Montreal late next week. And then we'll hopefully be able to collect everything fairly quickly. And that'll be an opportunity as well to actually kind of get a daytime stream going for the setup, because I am not setting that equipment up in the evening. Continent to continent, over an ocean. It was a long journey. Also, so many swabs stuck up my nose as well. All for good, and all for negative, which is even better. But yeah, I don't plan on doing that big of a move again anytime soon. So happy to be back in here. Happy to be, well, I'd say my old room is kind of like my old office. If you want to go back even farther, it's my brother's old room. Try to change it up a bit. It didn't look like this before. But yeah, we are hoping to stay in this streaming situation for a good amount of time, so that we can rebuild in here. And you had 10 clear skies, 10 clear nights since April. No, that's too long. That's rough. Who else? It doesn't seem like there's just been more cloudy nights this year than like almost every other previous year. I can almost think like so many times walking out, looking outside, and it's like, yep, clear night again. Nice clear night. Oh, another clear night. Good, perfect. What's the weather tonight? Oh, it's clear. It just seems like more often than not, it's been, the weather hasn't been on our side for stargazing or astrophotography. 7 of them during a full moon, naturally. Of course that's going to happen. That's what I'm waiting for. I think I'm expecting once the equipment rolls in and I get everything set up and we can start imaging, it'll be during a full moon. Although there's a fair chance that we'll most likely be able to point the scope in the opposite direction anyway, for the most part. So I'm hoping that'll be all right. That we can avoid some of those issues. Like I can give you guys another. Again, it's a very rudimentary look at how the back garden is going to look. I haven't still quite worked out the angle and the rotation there, but we will have views to the south for the first time on this stream, and some fairly decent ones too. I think we'll actually be able to. Let's see. Here's another thing. My location is not saving. Which is weird. But this is the rough setup, the rough positioning of the background. And actually, Polaris, it should be up here. There's going to have to be a little bit of negotiating of the images there. But we have a fairly wide view to the west, and actually in between these two houses is where the scope is going to be able to look in the old position. Where the scope is going to be able to look to the south and get a very good view of hopefully see what we should have. It's nope, too far. Turn off the atmosphere for the southern targets. That I should actually have a good view of the Eagle Nebula and the Omega Nebula, which I've just gone back and forth to. So our view right, this would be our view. Samshung, what's going on? How are you doing? What's planned for the evening? We're getting a little bit of a better look at what we're going to be able to see to the south. And right now, it looks like we're going to be able to get a good view of the Eagle Nebula. Like that's going to be such a nice view of the pillars. I'm excited for that one there. Also, again, never been able to image the Omega Nebula. Also going to take a look at some of the images I shot the other day while we were out camping, just to see what kind of detail we actually got in the images there. I realized afterwards that I didn't save them as raw images, but we can still edit JPEGs as raw in Photoshop. So it may not be exactly a complete image processing tutorial, more of let's play with this setting, let's fiddle with that setting, and see how much detail we can kind of pull out there, and maybe apply a few options of what we've done in the past with Photoshop there. And then again, just the general celebrations and pissing and moaning about our poor weather that some of us are having right now, and just the luck of how much clear weather I have forecast without a telescope available. Was talking about what solar scope we were looking to pick up there, which is like on paper, it is a fantastic budget scope. I did talk to Chuck's Astrophotography about this scope, and he highly recommends it. He says although he received it as a promotional gift, he would definitely have, for the price, he said he can't go wrong with it. So I am hoping to find a supplier that actually has one of these in stock, so we can actually start doing some daytime astronomy, and kind of get back to the just be able to see a lot of the other our European viewers as well, who right now it's 2, 3 in the morning for a lot of our European viewers on here, who had kind of gotten accustomed to a lot of our time. Wouldn't using a standard quark with the 72mm be better? Check out Focus Scientific. All right. See, this is one that, but it's what I'm interested about this. I wouldn't be getting the bundle. I'd be checking out for the lesser, because I don't need all the little bits and bobs that are in the bundle there. because they're not going to be doing any visual astronomy with this. Battery packs, I have power available, so that'll knock off some of the price there. Yeah, see, for the Daystar, the prices as well. Like we're like immediately adding like almost an extra, possibly like an extra $1,000. That's the only thing. That's what's kind of stopping me from going to just the Daystar. Just using these standard quarks there. So that's the only thing right now, because like just for the price of that, what I want to like even just starting into solar. Like I think I'd be remiss if I was spending like $3,000 on a Lunt scope. That I don't know. Maybe I don't anticipate that it's gonna be like, oh, I don't like solar, I'm not gonna do it. I think it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a wonderful addition to the stream as well, and just being able to pad things out there. Pardon me. So yeah, just to be able to look at the sun there, and you know, if budget allows later on down the line that we can spend $1,600 plus tax. That's the other thing, plus tax on a Daystar or on a Lunt scope. You know, it's definitely be open to that there. So you're saying Focus Scientific. Where are they located? They're in Ottawa. All right. Let's see. I think also, I mean, even attaching a Daystar to the 72 ED wouldn't be a bad idea. I'm not against that. I just think it is just going to be. It really kind of comes down to the budget there. You bought your Z61 and a Star Tracker off them, and they have a great service and will ship for free. I do like free shipping. I do like free shipping. What are they out there? I as much as I would love to get a Coronado Solar Max. I will have a look of a deeper look on their website there. But yeah, no, Zinc. If you've had some good experience with them, I mean, so far from like almost a few of the telescope retailers in the area there, I haven't heard anything untoward about them. So it really is just a matter of kind of who can have the stock in at the right time, whenever it's the website isn't that update. So you'd probably recommend if I maybe gave them a call, they might be able to sort something out there. telescope. That's the other thing, is like if you got also any other Canadian retailers, because I was basically when I was shopping in the UK, I was using First Light Optics, Rother Valley Optics, and Altair Astro to get the mass majority of my my telescope and accessories. So yeah, to find, because I feel like I'm a little out of touch with a larger swath of retailers in Ontario, and I guess even to some extent probably if possible to for shipping from the U.S. if it's not going to be too big of a ding on customs, because I do notice that for if nothing else at OPT Telescopes, they have more sale options for scopes. They got more sales and promotional deals that you just don't always. I never really saw in the UK. I never really saw much of a sale because everybody was kind of going off of internet prices, and you know, it's like that's pretty much already going to be the lowest price that you're going to get. You know. OPT might be good. Astro Backyard's always promoting. I'm not sure about the shipping to Canada. I think the only thing that really is, I'd imagine that the exchange rate is going to be fine. I think it's certain items that that customs might ding you a little harder on than others there. Lupo 1, hello there. How are you doing? How hot is it in your parts? That's kind of a personal question to start off with. We're not too bad today. We were at what 27 degrees in Toronto. $42 there today, 46 tomorrow. Are you out in BC? Are you out on the West Coast, Lupo? Because holy potatoes, I feel that you guys are getting bombarded with the heat. Or are you even in Canada there, Lupo? You heard in light and 49 degrees Celsius was registered. That's crazy. Hopefully that all that heat is going to break through. You're from Kazakhstan. Very cool. Well, welcome on in. Welcome on into the stream. My name is Tom. I am the Astro Canuck, and 99% of the time we will be doing live imaging of outer space. However, I have just moved to Canada, and my shipping container is still on the Atlantic Ocean. So we're waiting for that to arrive, and then once that is set up, we'll have our telescope in the back garden, and we will be able to take live images of outer space. So we'll be able to get some interesting views of the night sky. This is a simulated view of my back garden. So adorable! Hello, Pookie. How you doing, honey? Nova Charter! What's going on? How you doing, sir? Good to see you. Good to see you in here. Samsham, you order from Agena Astro occasionally, if you can't find it in Canada. Is it shipping not too bad from them? Is the sun gotten bigger? Why so hot? The sun has not changed its size. We are more experienced. There is like I was saying, you get that little bit of an anomaly with the heat, with these extreme heat waves going on there, which is more going to be related to climate change more than the sun, the solar activity. Solar activity, when that ramps up, we get some better views of the auroras to be able to see like the northern or southern lights. So it should be kind of an awesome view there. Queem! What's going on, Queem? How are you doing? Live images of aliens on the moon. I don't have a scope to confirm that yet. There are no aliens we've seen at the moment. Shipping is very reasonable. Otherwise, your go-to shop is Markarian Optics in Vancouver. Interesting, interesting. Atmosphere slowly getting denser, trapping the heat better. Venus transition when? Ugh. Ariana Celestine. What's going on, Ariana? How you doing? Welcome in. Thank you very much for the follow. Good to see you in here tonight. We are talking astrophotography, astronomy, how much Disney Plus I'm behind on. All sorts of things. Looking at our view of our upcoming view of the night sky. Once we are better able to, well, not once we're better, once the telescope arrives, and we can get that all set up again, then we can get back to imaging the night sky there. Odd question, are you normally live at this time on Saturdays? That is actually not an odd question. This is actually my first stream at this hour, and I have just moved from the UK to Canada, so these are brand new time slots for the starts of the stream. But usually, Saturdays have become, over the course of doing the stream, Saturdays have been our rainy day astronomy sessions, where we'll kind of dive into some past images we've shot, do a little bit of processing, take a look at what is what's going to be available for us when we have some clear skies. Now, right now, this is kind of looking for what's going to be available to us when we get our telescope back. So I'm just waiting for that to ship across the Atlantic Ocean, and we should have everything kind of back up and running to normal in about maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks, let's say. But yeah, other than that, we are always going to be talking about astronomy, talking about astrophotography, sharing our stories, and yeah, if you got any questions, always feel free to ask. Glad to have you in here with us tonight. This is Stellarium. This is the almost complete view of my background. I just need to work on the rotation and the positioning there, so we'll actually be able to get a good view, a good idea of what is going to be available for us. We're going to have some new targets as well. Some other areas of the night sky I didn't have available to me in England. So now in a new position on the globe, we got some new targets that are going to be up and available for us. Saving so much Netflix. How much more Netflix do we have? How many more programs? Well, I think we need to just have like a binging week. Just a binging week. New aliens to find. We had our UFOs, and which was quickly identified as the International Space Station. Initially, we had blamed Elon Musk for the terrible views, but we later found out, after a quick little bit of research and using Stellarium, that we were photobombed by the International Space Station. And for something like that, I'm not too fussed on that one there. I am very happy to have seen that pass through our field of view there. New locations, new extraterrestrials, all new Astro Canuck. Live. Sorry, what's the software to remotely control the mount? Sorry, Queen, getting back to your question there. When I am controlling our scope, I'm using the ZWO ASI Air, and that is controlling my scope. Sorry, the mount, the camera, and the guide scope, and it's all working in harmony. There are other ways that you can control your scope, and you can actually control it through Stellarium as well. You can sync it up with that. It works out. I did do it before with my first telescope when there was no guiding or anything like that, and it worked out pretty well. Didn't work out great. I kind of still had to move around a bit, but I was also working with a very long focal length, so it could be unforgiving for some of the targets there. So Stellarium, it'll have like the pointing. You'll be able to. Let's go back to Stellarium for a second there. All right, need to get going if your phone is dying, but thanks and look forward to seeing you more. Looking to find people to host next Saturday after the other stream. No worries. Well, Ariana, thank you very much for popping in. Once you get your phone plugged back in there. We always look forward to seeing you again there. We are always keeping a lookout on our Twitter channel or on our Discord, or even just the schedule. I update the schedule weekly on my Twitch page, so that we know when the next stream is coming up. But generally, Fridays and Saturdays are going to be our streaming nights for now. But we're going to be working on the schedule coming up there very soon. So yeah, Stellarium doesn't exactly have the guiding, but it'll have like the point. Where is the yeah, like you can have a telescope connected, and basically it's going to, once you have everything aligned, and you'll be able to use aligned and synced, you can use Stellarium to move your mount afterwards. It won't do any guiding, but it'll just point your scope in the right direction there. I think $2,000 is a good starting budget for a full setup for a first-timer. What would be the goal? Because there's going to be, the budgets are going to, it'll kind of vary between what you want to do. If you wanted to do something like, if it's like $2,000 starting from absolute scratch, you can, I would say, it's a fairly good idea to find like a relatively cheap DSLR, unless you already have a DSLR, a star tracker like the Skywatcher Star Adventure, or I'm going to try to get my hands on an Ioptron Sky Guider, and just to have like the actual experience with those star trackers. But I think with that, you can even keep the budget fairly modest. That may be about you probably keep it like maybe like $1,500, you know, and that way you're going to get some nice wide field views of the night sky, and it's going to be a little more forgiving, because the wider field you're going to go, if there's a little bit of error in tracking for like a little star tracker, you're not so focused on one object that you can get a nice Milky Way shot there. You're thinking use DSLR as a sky tracker. But don't think you can control a sky tracker remotely. That's the thing. Yeah, you won't be able to control the like the Star Adventure or something like that remotely. But if you're looking to do kind of a little more remote work with your scope, Skywatcher HEQ5 is a bit of an older model, but a lot of people still swear by those ones, and they have been, like, even Astro Backyard Trevor Jones has got some amazing images using that mount. Sorry. I think you can probably find some of them relatively at a fairly good price, even used. And really, I would put the mass majority of your money go towards your mount, because as long as that's nice and steady, everything else can kind of be, doesn't need to be like anything like top of the line, you know. As long as your mount is nice and steady, then that is everything else can kind of easily fall into place there. You were never interested in astronomy or stargazing. How well can one see surfaces of the moon with an entry-level telescope? The wonderful thing about the moon is that it is nice and bright. It's relatively close by. And even if you're using, like, I remember when I was a kid, we had a little, I have to say it's probably like a 70 millimeter refractor. And it was a fairly kind of cheapy telescope, but at the same time, we were still able to see some good views of the moon. Even with like some binoculars, you can get a nice, much more closer view of the moon than our meat cameras are going to allow us to do. But if it's, there are Dobsonian telescopes, which are fairly large. They're fairly large telescopes, and a lot of people do kind of recommend almost starting off with them. And those ones are scopes like this. This is a Dobsonian. They are relatively low-priced scopes, but they're going to offer a large aperture, so it's going to collect a lot of light, and some of those fainter objects will be much brighter in these the scopes. The only thing is that you're not really getting any tracking. But the benefit of starting off with some scope like this is that you're going to learn the night sky. You're going to get a little more of an intimate relationship with the night sky, better than you will with a go-to scope. Not saying that go-to scopes are bad. I think go-to scopes are fantastic because you can learn alongside them and start enjoying the night sky that much quicker. However, I have used both manual and go-to scopes. I started off with a go-to scope and learned alongside that, moved over to a manual sky tracker, and was able to just get that much more acquainted with the night sky. So something like this, looking at the moon, you're going to get some great bright views. But it's all really going to depend on your goals of what you want to do for stargazing or even astrophotography. But even for looking at the moon, like I'm saying, the moon is bright, and it's going to always be an easy target to see. So I would say almost for the moon, there aren't a whole lot of scopes we can go wrong with, but it's always going to depend on your goals. I'm just using this page right now as an example. My first go-to scope that I purchased was, I don't think it's on here. It's very similar to this one. Same kind of mount, and Alt-Az, where it just goes up and down, left and right. But it would point to the objects, and you could start to learn alongside them. I thought it was a great. I bought mine used. It was a fantastic investment, which I've moved on from. A lot of people say that mounts where the most money should go. I agree with that. At first, when I was looking into this, I wanted to spend. What I spent? I spent £250 on my first scope, which is very similar to this. Very similar to this setup. In fact, the only difference is that I had a Maxitoff or a Schmidt-Cassegrain telescope, not the reflector. And it was, like I said, it was a fantastic purchase. The focal length was maybe a little long. It was great for looking at the moon. Fantastic to look at the moon. Great to look at globular clusters. Because you were able to, because they're nice bright objects, and they still show up really well in these long focal lengths. The only thing is with some of the long focal lengths, the focal ratio is a lot higher, so it's not processing, it's not efficiently collecting that light as well as it could. The lower your focal ratio, your f-stop, the better that the telescope is going to be at collecting the light. So those objects, the dimmer objects, are going to appear brighter, and it doesn't take as much time for the, especially if you're doing astrophotography, it's less integration time that you're going to be using to get more of a signal. But if you are just doing visual astronomy, again, as low of an f-stop that you can go for your price budget is going to be beneficial. So I would say, like, for an entry-level go-to scope, if you can get your hands on on any of the Celestron SLT telescopes, be it this one or the Nexstar 127, is a pretty good option to start with. Like, I had a great experience with it. I really can't say too many bad things about it, other than the fact that it just wasn't what was meeting my goals. It was good. It was really good for visual astronomy. Can't fault it on that. Astrophotography with an Altaz mount, you need a lot more patience. A lot more patience than I had. You're Angry Testicle. How are you doing? Good to see you. How have you been? Your name frequently comes up when there are discussions about unique Twitch names. So, your name stretches across the small swaths of Twitch. But good to see you again here. Looking at the termination line of the moon, the shadows and the craters give them a 3D look. Comparatively, full moons suck to look at. True. It is a very flat looking surface, and you just don't get to appreciate the height of some of those mountains and craters on the moon there. And even just looking at some of the craters, and they're like, oh, those are kind of tiny, and realizing afterwards that those are like 10 kilometers or 10 miles in diameter. I have to get kind of back and forth between miles and kilometers now that I'm back in Canada. You got banned on another channel. Haven't even chatted that day. You got unbanned. The name, sometimes people will ban just based on screen names. Although I don't see so much why they would do it, because testicle is a proper it's clinical. It's the proper term for it. But good to see you again. You say you've been fairly good. Hopefully everything has been going well for you. We are in Canada now, so it's a little bit of a different look, a little bit of a different time zone now. We're in Eastern Standard Time, so that is my local time up there. And it is I'm continuing what we were doing in the UK with our Friday and Saturday. Well, last night was. I took last night off, as Thursday was our first stream back in Canada, and tonight it's our rainy day astronomy session. We're talking about I think this question does pop up a lot with what are good starter scopes, and for me, I always kind of go back to what was my first starter scope and what worked out really well for me. A lot of flags, just a couple. Panosmobile, welcome into the observatory. Thank you so much for the follow. How are you doing this evening? I have ideas, and I think that I might want to get one more kind of light just to highlight the background a little bit. Not too much, but just enough. It's going to be an evolving setup there. I'm just making sure I actually didn't have anything. Pardon me. Last time I had a canister of canned air sitting over there, which was actually not meant to be a part of the setup there. But I'm looking to add some Easter eggs almost, because the background is just enough out of focus so we can't exactly see with great detail. Panos, welcome and greetings from Athens, Greece. Well, Hello from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. How you doing? I have visited Greece. A lovely, lovely country. Could not get enough of feta cheese. But how you doing tonight? Welcome in, or good morning to you. So it is very early in the morning in the European countries. My usual streaming time was in the Greenwich Mean Time, so I am now in Eastern Standard Time. It's a little bit of a shift. Good to see some new faces popping in there. Good to see some familiar faces as well. And I know it's going to be a bit of a transition period. I think we're going to be feeling things out. So, and like I said, I think what's going to really add to the stream is going to be able to do some daytime astronomy, being able to look at the sun, talk about what's going on with our nearest star, our home star. Not to be confused with Homestar. Totally different place. But we're looking to get our first solar telescope, and like I said, I think I found what's going to be great for our budget, and what's going to be you can provide us with some interesting views of the sun in hydrogen alpha, which is going to be, we're going to be looking at more than just the white light that comes off of the sun, which, granted, can be a little boring. I have taken images of the sun. That is not the sun. Actually, still working on on a bit of layout there, but yeah, I have imaged of the sun in the past. We're doing more visual observations of the sun, a little bit of astrophotography with the sun, if I can find the sun. You know, this is looking at the sun with a solar filter. You know, that's that is a solar filter. Actually, there's a good image of the scope that was my first scope, which is the Celestron 127 SLT, and like I said, it worked out really well. So I had just the white light solar filter, so you were just seeing, we weren't seeing any real detail. There were a couple of sunspots. It was very, very low activity on the sun, but basically we're kind of looking at a flat white disk. Well, you actually see a little bit of. I added the orange tint, just because we're more familiar with seeing the sun in those orange and red colors, mainly when it's setting. So I think being able to look at the sun, looking past past the photosphere, we'd be looking into the chromosphere. I get more opportunity to get more familiar with the sun. So we'd be looking at more detail than we're seeing now. They would be able to see more granulation, more of the sunspots. Be able to check out some of any solar prominence that might be kicking off on the sun there that we can have a look at. So that's what the solar scope is going to be meant to add to the stream there. We'll be looking at the sun in hydrogen alpha. But for the most part, whenever we can, we are going to be taking live images of the night sky, single shots. But I am looking forward to seeing the Iris Nebula again. This was one of our single shot images of that, where this is a reflection nebula, and we'll be shooting it with a new filter as well, with our Optilong L Pro filter. This was with our Astronomy CLS clip filter, which it's not a bad filter. I think the Optilong L Pro is going to cut out more of the light. It lets through more natural star color. But I think, yeah, we're going to be able to, yeah, just get some more interesting views coming up this season, because we're in a new back garden. We have more access to the south, so I'm looking forward to seeing what we can there. You're doing fine. You have an interesting on amateur astronomy. Last year's solar astronomy used a PST Coronado simple stack, small like instrument, but very cool. I was looking at those as well. Who had that on their site? I think it was actually these guys there. Because yeah, we're looking to get a there you go. Was it one of the? Was it this one there? I mean, it's not a bad price. I'd be interested to see what. What we could do with that. That one, yeah. You were you're happy with how that? Do you still use it, or is it you kind of moved on from solar work there? Pardon me. Because yeah, the other solar scope we're looking at is the Solar Scout, which would be probably maybe about actually probably the same price as the Coronado in the end, because we wouldn't be doing the bundle price on that there. But I think yeah, for our the budget for solar, we're probably looking at about maybe like the $950 to like $1,100 mark around there. So I think that is definitely within the realm of possibilities of what I want to be able to add to things, so we can, we can have do our solar streams earlier in the day for me, which can kind of match up with some of the previous times that we had in when I was streaming from the UK. So at least that way, a lot of our European friends who would be in bed by now, but also I'm happy to see you in here, Panos. a little bit of a night owl. So if you are doing more astrophotography yourself as well, or just even visual astronomy, you'd actually be up at this hour anyway. Well, what I was going to do is kind of take a look at a couple of the images that I shot the other night. Use it when you can. You can see the basic stuff on the chromosphere, spikes, gradation, flares, etc. Well, that's cool. Do you have a Instagram or anything else that you may have shared images on, or you just kind of like just do it purely for yourself there? Because if you are on the Instagram or anything like that, let us know. Always happy to see what other people are doing for astrophotography, or even just kind of sharing their experiences of the night or of the day, really. Because we always like to find hear other stories about what celebrations and what frustrations people have had with astrophotography, because there's no shortage of frustration when it comes to being set up for a clear night and all of a sudden these clouds roll in out of nowhere. Uncle Bill! Hello there. How are you doing tonight, sir? Good to see you this evening. Happy to see you in here tonight. We're reintroducing our rainy day astronomy. Although it's not exactly raining tonight, but we don't have any other form of telescopes available to us. But I do have some images that I shot, and hopefully we can pull out a little bit of detail and just see just how well want to say maybe 25-second exposure in a Bortle force. And a Bortle force site was able to capture any extra detail that generally may not be able to get in, say, in my area, which is in 8 on the Bortle scale. So we're dealing with a lot more light pollution at the moment. So I know the narrowband filter is going to have to come out in full effect there. Let's see. All right, one second. Let me adjust one thing on the microphone here, because I think I might be picking up some. One second. There we go. Not so much involved in social anymore. No worries. I tried photography, but I really love solar sketching. Interesting. I've seen a lot. Do you feel that you kind of get even like a more of an appreciation and connection with it when you actually sketch it out, and you're taking the time to get those details in there? I've yet to do sketching so much on, let's say, like the moon or anything like that. But I have done some artwork, digital artwork related to areas of the night sky, and I felt that did kind of, you get a little bit more of an attachment to those areas, those objects in outer space than you would with even taking hours of photos for integration time on there. So, but that's cool. That's very interesting doing the solar sketching on there. I mean, like I said, if you do have any images you'd like to share, no obligation. But yeah, always interested in seeing what other people are doing in regards to astronomy, because everybody's going to have their own little take, their own little twist on things, putting their kind of personality into their astrophotography, into their just like even into a blog that you're posting online there. It's always good to hear the unique voices behind every project, because we're all shooting like the same kind of thing, but you get so many different stories out of it, and that's what I really like about the astronomy community, is that everybody has their own passion about it, and really, I can't say there's like competition. Like everybody's going to put their own, their own pressures on themselves for the most part. But I think we all got to be out there to lift each other up and help each other out to be able to grow in some way, shape, or form in the astronomy community, because it's just such an amazing subject to dive into, and that's really why I love to do this channel. I love to talk about astronomy as often as possible. I'll always try to spin it in as much as I can to a conversation. Sometimes I feel it's like, oh, he's talking about astronomy again. Like, no. So what? I'm going to talk about it. I love space. Caleb! Ahoy, Captain. Good to see you in here, sir. How are you doing today? How are things? Good to see you. Hope you've been keeping well, sir. You're doing not too bad. Good. Gotta get used to the new time zone. Yeah, you and me both. It is, pardon me. It is interesting being in this time zone, and I know a lot of like usually by now I'd almost be asleep. It's what, 3 in the morning now? Um, 7 midnight. 1, 2, yeah, it's about almost 3 in the morning, Greenwich Mean Time. So I know there's a couple places in Australia. A couple there. I know from in Perth, I am 12 hours behind. Here's a lesson learned. About 15 years ago, he found out that a Regar scope can be used to see the sun. A regular scope? Projected to a piece of paper. Regular scope, yes. Yeah, as long as you're not putting your eye up to the viewfinder there. You know, you take off the reflecting prism, and you can shine it on a piece of paper there. It's you don't want to get in between it. That's the only thing. You know, a quick option is to a fairly cheap option. There are, but they didn't tell me the length of time doing it will melt the insides. Yeah, depending on the scope that you're going to be using, it is kind of shining a bare sunbeam in there, very focused, can be a little detrimental. Do you know where the ship is at the moment? We do have a channel point reward there, Caleb. And we can check out the scope there. Oh, come on. And scammed. What happened? Hang on a tick. Oh. Of course that happened. I apologize. All right.
Where the hell is my ship? You gotta be shitting me. For shit's sakes, hurry up.
There we go. Now I'm still working on it to switch over to like to the tab, if that's possible. But our ship, the MSC Sao Paulo, is currently en route to Montreal, where it will dock in that port, and it is expected on the 8th of July. And its last known position from... Excuse me. Where'd you go? Oh, it's gone. Oh, what if my ship sank? Wouldn't that be terrible? Vessel is out of range. Position was received last... Let's go to its latest position. There you go. So that was its latest position. It could be maybe around here. With it being, what's it today? Today is the 3rd. It's expecting in 5 days from its last known position to be landing in Montreal, traveling down the St. Lawrence River. Docking, I believe it's in Trois-Rivières, where it will go to port, and everything will be transferred to Toronto. Love the projection method. She melted cheap Japanese eyepieces that way. Do not walk away from an unguided scope when doing the projection method. Either you don't want to focus the point landing on the side of the focuser tube and lingering any amount of time. Yeah, it's going... There was a... I can't remember who did the video. Who put it... They held a pig's eye up to a scope, and it started smoking, like, almost immediately. Just that focus point of light. You're focusing the sun's energy on such a tiny little delicate piece of organics, and even the inorganics. You know, it's going to do some damage. However, if there is a lot of solar activity, if there are a lot of sunspots, it'd be interesting to see, to have a look at that on the on the paper there. Like a Canon camera sensor. Why would you do that? Don't do that, Arc, please. Don't ruin the cameras. How you doing tonight? How have you been? We're looking at the latest known position of our cargo ship. It is expected in the port of Montreal on the 8th of July. Can't complain? Perfect. Good to see you in here tonight. So we're writing down our options. Am I going to stack that shipping route image? I think what we can actually do is, once it gets into... Let's go back there for a second. It can actually track where it's been. And that's about as close to a stack that I can get. There should be a button. Route forecast. So that was its last position. I believe it's set on the 2nd of July. Yesterday. So it could be maybe here. But that's where it's heading. That's where we're expecting. Sorry, not in Toronto, Riviera. Be arriving here. East Montreal. Montreal Est. And then it'll make its way to Toronto, where I will collect everything with joy and have a daytime setup stream. Sorry you get rushing me on Twitch. You're always doing something when listening. Right now I'm getting ready for the hurricane. I live in south of Tampa, so its landfall is in my city. Oh, that is a very good reason to be in a hurry for typing. No worries. We live in a world of autocorrect that will always duck up your conversations. It's totally understandable. Do stay safe as possible. I haven't seen the latest details on the weather there. I'm slowly reacclimatizing myself to all the news channels that I would pay attention to, and the Weather Network was always a channel that I frequented, even before really getting into astrophotography. So much so that my brother actually gifted me a self-teaching book, textbook on meteorology, which I need to find again because I think it's almost necessary to start to recognize and talk about all the clouds, because sometimes we maybe just be doing a cloud stream. You must leave. So glad to meet you. Hope to see you again. Clear skies or blue skies to all. Thank you very much, Panos. Glad to see you as well. Look forward to seeing you on some future streams there. Have a good snooze, a good sleep, and we'll look forward to seeing you again soon there. So I think I need to find that. I know it's a silly thing to say. The book is somewhere. The textbook is somewhere. It's just a matter of, also a matter of getting our lives back into one area. Because yes, we everything moved from the United Kingdom to Canada, but in Canada we've had our lives spread over a few different houses. So we need to consolidate that. And I know there are some bits of, not so much bits of equipment, but some little identifying pieces of me that are packed up in boxes that I would like to actually have on display in the stream there, just to be able to give you guys a little more of a sneak peek into who I am, what I enjoy. The connection dropped for a second. All right, it's not too bad. Now, one thing I noticed, I haven't seen it happen yet. I don't know if it's going to happen. Was that we would? Yeah, I just saw the frame dip again there. Is that we would have like the connection like completely cut out, and I didn't know if it had to do with the laptop, whether it had to do with the connection. I am thinking it was probably a combination of a bad Ethernet cable and the laptop, and just kind of overloading the computer. Now looks like we are dropping a bit there, but we're still on. What's it saying here? I imagine it might be dipping down again, but we're still putting out the kilobits, so that's fine. A lot of little technical things that go on there that I hope don't always impede the stream there. So I think I might even have like too many things open on the laptop there. But like I was saying, I think we will keep going with our rainy day astronomy sessions, because I think it's a nice relaxing end to a Saturday night. And I know there's some things that are opening up. There's not everything that's kind of completely open there. And in the future, we'll have more images on hand to do some processing on, and I will still go over to look at the couple of the images that I shot the other day while we were camping, to see what detail we can pull out of there, if any. Because I ended up shooting in. Not only did I end up shooting in in JPEG and not RAW, because it wasn't my camera that I was using. I didn't even twig about changing it over, because all my other cameras that I have are set to shoot RAW and JPEG. This one didn't. Although they are very large JPEG files, but the night was cut even shorter by condensation forming on the lens, which I did not even have a dew band to combat that anyway, and nor for some reason did it cross my mind that I'm thinking, oh, the dew point might actually be pretty high, and it's going to totally ruin my night. So yes, I was stymied by condensation forming on the lens. However, later that night, actually not too much longer after we packed it up, there was just a freak thunderstorm that rolled in. So the night would have been cut short anyway. But I think I did get a few photos that hopefully we can maybe pull some detail out of. And it was really quite a small number of them there, because it was a little bit of picking the position, seeing where I was, because my phone wasn't working in the area either, so I couldn't get a good bearing on what we were looking at, because there was enough stars that I could see that were almost impeding the general shape of the constellations I've been used to seeing in higher light pollution areas. So what I might look at is this one over here. is possibly this one. I think the lens, you can already see that orange tint that happens there. Like it was already starting to condense. So let's go with this one here. Just see if there's any kind of detail we can pull out. This is more of me just kind of experimenting with the image. It is a single shot. What kind of detail I'd be looking at there? Now this is kind of here's a little bit of an interesting thing. We have our stars. You know, we got the not too much movement in there. A little bit of I wasn't even on a tracker, so that was aside from the point. But what's actually kind of cool I noticed in this shot here are these little streaks. These brighter little streaks that are moving almost perpendicular to the stars are fireflies. So I had some fireflies photobombing the image, which I am not fussed with at all. So those ones will be easy to pick out. So if nobody is kind of moving in this like north-south kind of direction of the stars, and everything else is just going to be a firefly in this image. So there were some lower image fields in the shot that I did take in an effort to capture more of the fireflies. This was a look at all of them there. Like, I think that's really cool. Also, I can hear that my neighbors have some louder music playing. I don't know if it's picking up. Hopefully not. Not detracting from things. But in the meantime, we figured we'll take a look at this image, see what we can get out of there. But for those of you who may be new to the channel, because I am in a completely different time slot right now, completely different time zone. My name is Tom. I am the Astro Canuck, and tonight we are doing a little bit of image processing of a wide field view of the Milky Way. And usually we are taking live images of outer space with a big telescope in my back garden, or my backyard here in Canada. But I'm still waiting for that to show up. That is on a shipping container. It is somewhere in the Atlantic, and I'm expecting it to make landfall in Montreal in about 5 to 6 days' time. So hopefully we'll be able to get the scope set up in just a little over a week or so, and we'll be able to do what we do on this channel and take some live images of outer space with some new targets that are going to be available to us. We have a great deal of the sky available to the south. We'll have a really wide swath of the western sky available to us. Hopefully in a few weeks' time, once I trim a tree, we'll be able to take a look at more of the eastern skies, because that is going to be, we're coming up on the Milky Way core, where we're going to be able to see a lot of the beautiful nebulae of planetary nebulae, or supernova remnants, or just even star-forming regions, which are going to show up really well on things. I want it all. You want it all. I want it all. How are you doing tonight? Welcome on into the stream. Welcome into the observatory. How you doing? Oh, look, you can see my Leorin board. Stop looking at my Leorin board. So I'm just seeing what kind of detail I can pull out of what I tried to make do with on a fairly cloudy night in a low light pollution area of southern Ontario whilst camping. I think this ended up being like probably the best image I had. Not that great, but not that terrible. I have had worse, but making lemons out of lemonade on this one here. But if I open it up in... No. One extra keystroke. I want to open that up in Camera Raw, so we can try and edit as much of this of the JPEG as possible. So we can try to get some. Like I said, this is probably not going to be too much of a how-to, but just experimenting on what kind of detail we can pull out of here. Now this was on a stationary tripod. It was a 25-second exposure at a 18 millimeters. So we were trying to get as much detail as possible in a low light pollution area. Travers Jenkins, welcome to the observatory. How are you doing tonight? Thank you so much for the follow. We are usually doing the live astrophotography. However, I'm waiting for my equipment to show up, and eventually we will get back into what the stream is all about. However, this is our supplementary evening of fun. We're trying to do a little bit of post-processing on a very meh kind of image, just to see what kind of detail we can pull out on here. And really, what I just want to do on this one is just crank things up to see what we can do with this. I know this probably isn't going to be a lot. I think that the clouds are almost going to take precedence over things here, because we're also not really dealing with a raw image, because the phone I was using wasn't mine, so it was not set to record raw and JPEG. So like I said, we're lemons out of lemonade here. Wait, lemonade out of lemons here. Unless we are reverse engineering lemonade to turn it back into a lemon somehow. It'd be interesting. Let's see what. So we have Vega up here. We got Deneb down here. It's a deconstructed lemonade. That's what we were making tonight. We were making deconstructed lemonade. Bite the lemon, take a spoonful of sugar and a sip of water, or gin, or vodka, or whatever it is you like to add to lemonade. And there was also absolutely no filter on this camera either, so what we were going to capture will be very dim, very brief. Let's see if we can kind of pull up the I turned off Stellarium. Say that the clouds are really going to muck things up here. Like in an effort to try to eliminate the clouds as much as possible. We are going to lose out on we're going to lose out on some of the other details there. Alright, so we still have like an overarching blue tint over here, but that's a little too purple almost. Yeah, it looks a little too yellow. And even then, we're still shooting in. We're kind of shooting in the time when it wasn't exactly. We hadn't reached astronomical dark either. It was like 10 o'clock, 10:30, and we would have reached astronomical dark about 11:30. So we were kind of still sitting in nautical dark at the moment. So really, a 25-second exposure wasn't giving us the best view there. Although seriously, what I am still kind of geeked about are the fireflies. The fireflies have ended up being like the real star of the show. And actually, I am fairly confident that that's all the same firefly that's flown across the image in 25 seconds. So we don't have exactly like multiple fireflies. We have multiple instances of one or two fireflies in the shot, which is kind of cool. This one here, moving a little slower. But it had really been a long time since I've actually seen a firefly, which was kind of cool. All right, let's see what some curves. Can do on this. You see, the UK firefly mating dance is different than in Indonesia. Well, this would be a Canadian firefly dance in here. So it might be completely different. You know, it is still fresh. This is stream number 2 from Canada. So we will. There is that adjustment period, which is completely understandable. So if we just, I know there's these dark areas. This is going to be the trees. I'm not too fussed about the trees showing up or not. So really, these clouds right here are pretty much sitting in the band of the Milky Way, which I was hoping to capture, because there's Deneb, there's the Swan in there, Vega, constellation Lyra. So like everything that we want to capture is like behind this cloud. North America Nebula, Crescent Nebula, Gamma Cygni Nebula, NGC 6914. There's all these interesting targets that are just hiding behind this thin little layer of clouds that we just didn't want to get out of my way. I do need. Everybody needs the Icarus filter. Everybody needs that Icarus filter. UACNJ. What's going on? Welcome into the observatory. Thank you so much for the follow. How are you doing tonight? We are doing a little bit of post-processing on an image, which is already greatly compressed, hoping to capture some kind of detail out of here, but I don't know how much we're going to be able to we're going to be able to save out of this one here. I think there's just enough cloud coverage that, yeah, we can see some stars. Oops, son of a biscuit. What happened here? Uh-oh. What have I done? I have... There we go. Theld of Allen. 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 Welcome. Thank you for the follow. Doing good. Your scout found you earlier. Well, hello there, scout. Good to see you in here. Yes, we are. We're making lemonade out of these lemons that have been dealt on a fairly cloudy evening in southern Ontario. Well, I was hoping to get a little bit of astrophotography in, but this is like about the best that I could get, unfortunately. We had a high dew point, or I guess a low dew point. Condensation filled up on the lens very quickly, and then a freak thunderstorm rolled through. So everything was against me, trying to get some kind of imaging, some kind of a wide field shot of the Milky Way, which is basically sitting right through here, where the majority of the clouds are sitting. So I was just hoping to see if there's any kind of detail I can pull out of this image there. Usually we are taking more detailed images of the night sky, or at least single-shot images, like looking at the Orion Nebula when that's up in the winter season. I'm really looking forward to doing some more imaging on Orion, because we're going to have a lot more time with it this coming winter. We're in a new backyard. We have moved across the ocean, so we're looking forward to seeing what is going to be possible in Canada versus the United Kingdom. Now, we're in a bit of a higher light pollution area, so there's going to be some new difficulties, some new challenges which I'm looking forward to. And even just to illustrate, comparing and contrasting against what we've shot in a lower light pollution area, and I'll shoot images of the same target, of the same exposure time. I can match the temperature of the camera as well. So we can really see that even with a light pollution filter, just how much can still get cut out in a high light pollution area. So I'm looking forward to doing that. Looking forward to doing some solar observing, some daytime astronomy as well, to keep in contact with our European audience as well. I know that a lot of them, the majority of them, are most likely going to be sleeping by now, unless they are maybe doing some astrophotography themselves. Where is this fabled Mortal 2 sky? Now, I looked it up, and it ended up that this area that we were in was actually just a Bortle 4, which was actually like almost an exponential improvement from a 5. Although I did say that my area, that I said it was a 5, it listed it as 5, but I was confident it was a 6. So we'll have to see how that's going to turn out. But it was just, there was a lot more stars I could see like almost immediately earlier in the evening. So we didn't even reach astronomical dark before all the clouds rolled in. But even without the light pollution, like I was shooting out towards like more empty field. So really the only light that we're kind of getting off the clouds is just as the sun was setting. So it was still just impacting the sky enough that a long exposure was still getting some reflection on the clouds. I was hoping to maybe see some noctilucent clouds, but it wasn't. The conditions weren't favorable for it, unfortunately. So there were many clear nights leading up to the camping trip, which was filling me with absolutely no confidence that we were going to have some clear skies. We know how well a nice swath of weather will So, as always, we deal with what we get. It's, we do the best we can. We try to work with as much as we can there, but I'm not sure how much detail we're going to be able to pull out of here. What else can we do? Optics, distortion, that's not going to be too much there. No, I don't need the... Yeah, I don't know if the like I could. Let's see. Let's go with. Let's apply this. Yeah, I got to move it to another window here for a second. Yeah. All right. So. Excuse me. Where'd that go? It seems to have disappeared for some reason. Okay, hang on a second. I'm going to save it as a Photoshop file. See if we can recover that. It just did not want to show up again. Somebody needs to open an astronomical Airbnb or camping ground. This is true. This also kind of falls in line with what we've been talking about before, or fantasizing about before, with creating like a star city, where essentially you're living there for X amount of time, or even it could be year round, depending on where it's situated. But the whole idea of the town is that everything is geared towards astronomy, or at least favors astronomy. So lights, everything's red, or dim as possible. So that way everybody is combating light pollution as much as possible. And that way, and then nobody is, everybody there has astronomy in mind. So it's just a kind of a place to do your astrophotography in peace without, worrying about what could be going wrong there. All right, we got this back there. I take a road trip down to next year to Death Valley, California. It is a Portal 2. Spend a week streaming. You can always hit Vegas in the daytime. This is true. There have been road trip ideas to go to Meteor Crater, as well as see the Grand Canyon, but also being in that in those low portal score skies. There is a I believe there is a solar eclipse. I think it's an annular eclipse. That is, yes, October 14th, 2023. October 14th, 2023, there is the annular solar eclipse that is going to be passing through that area. Or at least that section of the United States. So, yes, there is a road trip planned for that one. The total solar eclipse of 2024, I need to stand in my back garden. Super psyched about that one. And even if there is maybe some, like I have areas that I can go to if there are some clouds in some spots or not. So, super psyched about that one. There is the plan of a road trip in 2023. So, yeah, definitely want to make even like a week or two long road trip out that way. Econ Greg's parents' farm's in a Bordeaux area. Tried to encourage him to nudge them to open a B&B for astronomers, but don't think they're interested. I guess it's Airbnb is not for everyone. Now, I'm jumping back to one of our latest followers, Alan, and I said, Feld of Alan. I believe it is the id of Alan. Wondering when we're going to see the ego of Alan. So if you Alan, if you're still here, and if it is the id and not Zeld or not Feld, security. What's going on, security? Thank you very much for the 8 months. Outstanding. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. How you doing tonight, sir? And St. Louis Mo. And what's going on, Mo? Good to see you here, Mo. Thank you very much for the follow. Welcome into the observatory. Good to have you guys with us tonight. We are talking astronomy. We are talking astrophotography. We're trying our best to make lemonade out of these lemons that I've been dealt on our latest camping trip, to try to pull out a little bit of detail here. And I'm thinking now, I am confident now, I do not have the astronomy tools set up on here, because I got that program on the new computer. Sugar lumps and weasels. Alright, we'll try to pull out a little more detail from here. Some serious cosmic dust in that photo. It's just all the cloud. Like, I was lucky to get this little cloud coverage while we were out camping. So I think that I have called this one probably the best example of what I was able to deal with. It's the Cumulus Nebula. That's it. We are looking at the Cumulus Nebula in the Cirrus constellation. But yeah, without let's go. What else can we do here? Alright, we're clipping the trees. I don't mind that we're clipping the trees. Clipping the stars, we don't want to clip the stars. Alright, let's try to remember that from now on. Any clouds are just the Cumulus Nebula. I'm doing like the, do I have the arc sign? I do have arc sign on here. Although I don't know how well it's going to, so these are just kind of like gentle curves that are being applied. Whereas some of the other ones are a little more aggressive. And I don't know if that's going to really help us out on this one there. We were clipping like so much of this image. This is all gone. In an attempt to try to pull out some kind of detail, but these clouds are just illuminated way too much. Now I think if I go back to the history, I'm going to lose the image there. So we will take steps back. Yeah, it's not that much of an improvement. If anything, we have really just highlighted a lot more of the clouds, which is a little annoying. But you know, it's what's going on, Pops? I see you lurking in there. There wasn't a hockey game on tonight, was there? Is it tomorrow? Did the Blue Jays play? I'm still so out of touch with sports. I am relying on the old balls to let me know which games are on. Otherwise, I got no idea. I am way too far out of touch there. Monday. Oh, they're skipping like the entire Monday for the Stanley Cup Finals. Yes. Which I gotta say, I you know, as a diehard Leafs fan, it is nice to see a Canadian team finally in the NHL playoffs after 10 years. But does it have to be the Canadiens? Does it have to be the Montreal Canadiens? It's such a tough one. Jays are on a roll. Blue Jays are on a roll. That's cool. So I really think that I think Tampa Bay Lightning are, I think they're taking the Stanley Cup on Monday. They're going to do it in 4. If I can rectify the image with a Stellarium image. So just plunk in the Stellarium view in front or behind the trees there. That'd be totally possible. Yeah, no, it's great. It's a wonderful shot there. Let's see. Gotta open up Stellarium. I gotta keep opening and closing programs on here, else the fans really start kicking in on the laptop. But soon, the main computer will be back in our clutch. Hello. We got a little view of Stellarium here. There we go. You can bring it into PixInsight and overlay artificial stars. Means I got a good PixInsight. I am confident that PixInsight would just eat this computer up at the moment. Let's see here. Turn off the background, turn off the atmosphere. It only takes about $450 to fix that image. Well, I mean, I have to... like I said, move finances. I would say that's let's see, let's go back and work with Photoshop. Oh, no. There we go. Turn off the star labels. I mean, I believe that, I still believe that fixing site is well worth money. I think it's the time to put into it that is going to be more beneficial. It's just getting all that sorted out there. Oh, I don't think I captured enough. The angle is almost right. I'm happy with that. All right, so if we actually, let's see. Let me try this one out one more time here. With this one, we want to do the sky replacement. We'll let let's see what we let again. have Photoshop do the hard work here. See how well it does it. Not too bad. It stutters up in the upper corner there. And there we go. We have cheated. We have cheated as much as possible. No, not that one. That's not what I wanted. I mean... This is what we started with, and through the magic of editing, we were able to remove all the clouds and highlight and just highlight everything. We have discovered the Icarus filter on Photoshop. We have found it, we have created it, we have done it, we have an APOD ready to go. This is APOD technology. So, had we have had a wonderful clear sky from to woo, I mean, there's tons that we were missing out on, you know? It would have been nice to catch that band of the Milky Way. But, you know, it's... I mean, it doesn't look shopped at all. Stars are a bit bloated, but other than that... It's beautiful, no? We will send it out. We will tell the world. We have found the oasis. Yes, we'll leave that on there. Perfect. Don't tell anybody what we did. I'm actually kind of impressed, just for the fact that that the stars are pretty much lined up in there. That everything is almost exactly where it should be. Maybe save for Vega's a little low, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So we know for the next time that we really need to bring a much larger fan to get rid of the clouds, no matter where we're going. However, I did. This is a spot that's it's great to just for camping as well. It's a massive property, and there are tons of different cabins that you can rent out there, and each one is almost attached to like this big open field, save for like maybe a couple of different cabins that are much farther into the woods. But we don't want a cabin in the woods. We want a wide open field with a telescope stuck to it. So definitely want to make a return to this place with more equipment in tow, and with even the possibility of researching to see just how much I would need to have a reliable stream to be done from this area. To do a stream in a a very low Bortle score sky would be kind of cool. And also, other things I still want to implement is to have a all sky cam available so that we can have that running as another window, so we can just have that nice big view of the sky, because I should be able to get something that is kind of roof height over here. Again, it's just it's a detached house, so there's more access that I have to all four sides, so we can play around with things. And also, what I'm looking forward to is getting my. Actually, no. That being said, I have a solar can. I bought a solar can a few months ago. Actually, a few months before I thought I was going to move. So that's packed up. That's already here in Canada. So if I can get my, my solar can set up, then we can let that time go and have a look at that image once it's done processing. But if we can get that and an all sky cam set up aside there, that way then we can get these other interesting views. That's what I want. It's nice to have our outdoor camera where we're looking at the scope, but if we have one camera on here that's dedicated in recording and always looking at the night sky, then maybe we can actually genuinely catch a fair-sized meteor coming through, rather than a wayward bird flying over my back garden. So I think that is another thing to look into. I know there are a few places that will sell like the housing for it, and essentially I just need to get another ASI Mini with the with kind of like the fisheye lens on there. Robert's your mother's brother, and we're off to the races with that one there. So that's another plan that I want to do, and something like that is it's completely within the realm of possibilities there. Hey, Lily whispered. Hello, Lily. How you doing? Good to see you in here. How's it been? How have you been? We are doing the ultimate cheat for astrophotography. How you can take an image with clouds, turn it into a beautiful night sky. All with the sensational cheating software of Stellarium. It's been a while. It has been a while. It's been at least a month. We are back. We are back on Twitch. We are in Canada now. No longer streaming from the United Kingdom. So we are in the Eastern Standard Time. It is 11 p.m. I have an early morning tee-off time for tomorrow. First time golfing in, oh goodness, easily first time golfing in 10 years. I have watched all of Dorf on Golf. I have watched Caddyshack 2, halfway through Caddyshack 1, and I watched a documentary on the Gulf of Mexico, which was highly uninformative. But I think I remember how to play golf. You swing at the ball, you swear at the ball, and you go home. A little closer to your time zone. There are so many different time zones that I have shifted back in time by 5 hours now. So it's exciting. It'd be interesting to see who else is able to kind of pop in on the streams, who else is who we can meet who's a new friend to the stream, and just the possibilities of what we can do, and hopefully do some more daytime streams. You're in the Pacific time zone, so yeah, that's a little more convenient if you're going to be tuning into the stream there. It's not like what time? You're what, 8 o'clock now or 7 o'clock? Still bad with the time zones. Central time is an hour Golf is a good walk spoiled. Yes. I believe that was George Carlin who said that, yes? It's just past 8. All right. So you're 3 hours behind. Or I'm 3 hours ahead. Mark Twain. I somehow always equated that quote with George Carlin for some reason. Maybe he paraphrased them somehow at some point there. Golf is fetch without the dog. Yeah, you just play fetch with yourself. That's it. Now, generally, I don't even remember how many golf balls I would lose when I was actually regularly playing. So I have about 300 golf balls in my bag, ready for the front 9. We'll see how that goes. There will be some social media documentation. I'm pretty sure Twitter is going to be the home of my foray back into 4, eh? We'll see how that goes there. But I'm looking forward to being able to have some more images coming through there. Mojo, what's going on? How you doing, Mojo Jojo? Good to see you, sir. Hope you're keeping well. Now that we have completely cheated with astrophotography and taken this terribly cloudy night and turned it into a lovely starscape. Let's see if we can let's do like one more adjustment here. Nah. As I say, highlight the trees a little more, but that separates it even more from the background. Because how to go from this to this, just cheat your way through. Just show what could be, what is hiding behind those clouds. Why wait for the clouds to go away? We just play with Stellarium, right? Right? Right. Just throw it all together like that. Yeah, I gotta get used to seeing everybody at this time as well. But wonderful to see you as well, Mojo. Hope you've been keeping well, sir. We are we're gonna be playing with some time slots, and like I said, the some of the regular kind of time slots can be taken over by adding the solar scope. And I'm going to be checking out a few places for stock, essentially, because it looks like at least Ontario Telescope is out of stock at the moment. I would imagine like a lot of people are still going to be out of stock of things, but with the Solar Scout, and we had another person in chat talking about the Coronado PST, which is running about maybe the same price point. So I would maybe see how the two are. I haven't looked at all the details on this one to see how they compare. Because really what we want to do is we want to look at the sun. We want to see a lot of the detail there. Lunt is going to be way out of the budget for the moment. I think, what are we looking at for Lunt? We're looking at like what, 25, and even a Daystar. We got the quark to attach to the 72 ED. It's just, this will probably be maybe 900 and change after tax without the bundle price, whereas these ones are running up almost like $2,000 after taxes. Yes, we're going to be able to get some maybe even finer details coming through, but I think for what I want to achieve right now, and we can work our way up towards some of the other scopes, and like even like a Lunt. That's just, unfortunately for me, that's even combining any kind of personal funds as well as Twitch funds. It's still way out of the ballpark of what we're looking to, what I can do right now. So I had spoken with Chuck's Astrophotography, talked to Chuck about the Solar Scout, which he's used, and he loves it. He has no real complaints about it. So I trust his judgment on that. So I wouldn't see any benefit on him steering me or anybody else wrong on a recommendation of purchasing some gear. And he was saying even though he'd be happy to buy one of those instead of kind of using it for a review. But at the same time, it'll be a good entry point for us, and even to see how well it's going to work. So if we even have to start changing the way the scope is controlled, we'll see how well the ASI Air will work with that. And I am going to be interested to see how that's going to be another thing is reassigning the ASI Air to everything in here. Hopefully, I'm not going to have that much of an issue with getting things connected to the internet here, to the router. So I think it should be all right. I'm not too worried. I know there's going to be some headaches. I know there's going to be some things that are going to crop up there. But we're rebuilding. It's we're kind of on the next leg of the marathon, as it were. I know there's going to be some stumbling points. There's going to be we have to kind of get back into the swing of things. I know it's been it's been a whole month off, and so seeing you guys coming back as well is wonderful and reassuring, knowing that what I'm trying to do here is the right thing, and there's always going to be more growth on the channel and just a little more experimentation with what we're doing. I think there's a lot more opportunity to play around with what we're doing here, and also a really good opportunity to compare and contrast how well these filters work in a Bortle 8 zone versus a Bortle 5 zone. So I will be taking images of targets that we've shot before and try to orient things as close to how we had them before, but just to have that comparison. Do a few of the 33-minute exposures, use the 16 minutes, 10 minutes, and just see how much more things are impacted by a Bortle 8 with an aggressive filter, like the tri-band, the Altair Astro tri-band filter. Still trying to I haven't looked to get my hands on an L Extreme filter to swap those out. Once the tri-band filter is back in, and my CLS clip filter, I'm going to be putting those back up on the Astro buy and sell pages to just to kind of move those and pretty much swap that out for some new filters. And just try to have as little impact as possible on there to see what we can do with some little more aggressive filters, such as the L Extreme, and even try to get my hands on an HA filter for the one-shot color camera. Pardon me. So that is kind of the plan for right now. Like I said, just kind of looking at the Solar Scout, see who has one in stock, who can get one to us almost ASAP. Really, I'll see what I can do about getting things sorted out ahead of the container ship arriving, which I anticipate probably shouldn't be any more than maybe a week and a half until I have things in my possession. Once the scope is in, I'll do one of the streams will be a setup stream. That'll kind of be a midday thing, depending on the weather. As soon as I have like a nice afternoon, we'll get that set up. We'll kind of put that together outside. It's not quite the outdoor stream that we're shooting for on this one. HA on One Shot Color Blasphemy. I know. But it is in anticipation for having a monochrome camera. There will be an observatory a permanent fixture that I will have. That will be minimum 2 piers, and one will basically be for this total acquisition, and the other one will be kind of like the outreach scope. That's like the base starting of what I want to have, and kind of go from there. Because once we are able to have more people together, doing live streams, but also having a live star party as well, I think that would be kind of an interesting dynamic to have. Because the way where we're looking to move, what kind of property we're looking to get, that it will be conducive for doing things like that. So that is the long-term plan for things, the long-term plan for this. And we're still in our infancy stages here. Like I just got my 9-month badge for the channel. So everything is still fresh, I might look to refresh our subscriber badges a little bit there. These are based on star temperatures, or maybe even just kind of update the flare with instead of like these 3 moons, something else. We'll see. It's just kind of there's lots of little things I'm looking at that are going to get some upgrades, and I think that there's some cool ideas that we have that have been kind of floating around that I'll have more time to implement as I'm kind of working towards the next few months as just doing some content creation and here, YouTube and Etsy, and a couple other avenues. So that's what is just kind of percolating, kind of working in the background there. It's still very new on how everything is going here. Like I said, I'm essentially like a week out of quarantine, so it's only everything is still fresh. Everything is still seemingly brand new. So there's a lot of work to do, and I do appreciate the patience. And I am really looking forward to what we're going to be able to show off on here, and what we're going to be able to share and talk about, and some other options of having some more guests on the channel, and doing maybe some short interviews, or even just some co-streams with some other astrophotographers who I have been speaking with, that would be interested in just kind of hanging out and talking, just talking shop about astrophotography, because there aren't going to be a lot of us who have like the exact same setup, and we're all going to have these different stories and just these different experiences to share. And we're going to have a lot of the same gripes about astrophotography, but I think it's going to be it's going to be interesting. It'll be a new dynamic. And I don't believe the air is on in the house. Either that, or it's like mighty hot under this studio light here. You have a guest or two in mind? Let me know in the Discord. Alright, Pookie. Have a good sleep. Night night. We'll see you in the morning. Afternoon. After golf. I only have the Zoom cam. Coffee? Tomorrow? Yes. Yes, coffee. In the afternoon. This is empty. We also need fast boiling kettles here. This is another thing. This is a very big problem. We had a very fast kettle back in England because life moves at the speed of tea over there. We need to have an upgraded kettle. It's died now. Alright. It is imperative that we get a new kettle. Because, yeah, even boiling it on the stove, with a stovetop kettle, just isn't working for it. Yes. Give our kettle the band hammer. Bop it out of there. Such is life. What we are going to do is we are going to wrap things up tonight, and we'll keep you guys posted on when the next stream is going to be. It'll mainly for now. We're doing a lot of. It's going to be fairly kind of like almost a bit of a just chatting format for now. But there are some other things I am working on to do for some content, something that we can talk about, some other programs that we can look at there. Also, I'm going to perfect the Stellarium layout and go through that again, because what I thought was going to be a nice quick fix on there, it wasn't. It wasn't. I was wildly out of touch with that one there. Don't know. Just seems to take forever. I don't fill up the kettle. It's bananas. RH79123. Hello there. How you doing tonight? Good to see you in here. Oh, well, that's quite the story. Good to have a happy ending. You're welcome. Thank you very much. How are you doing tonight? We're usually talking astronomy, astrophotography, and all things about our favorite science of outer space. But for tonight this is going to be the end of the stream. We're going to send you guys over to... Who are we going to send you guys over to? Who is streaming right now? Let me take a look. Because it is... It is just about that time again. Let me send you guys... Let's get this... copy those raid messages over there if you can. First one if you are subscribed to the channel. If not, I got you covered, as always, with the other raid messages there. Let's see, who are we going to go over to tonight? What's going on, Skybridge77? Skybridge, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome on into the observatory. We are just wrapping things up here, but usually on this channel we are doing some live astrophotography. And as soon as my cargo ship arrives from the United Kingdom in a week, we're going to be back online doing some live imaging of outer space. But for now, let's go over to... Let's see how we're doing. Let's come on, load up here. This is so slow. Alright, haven't had the opportunity. Let's go check out Cromer Gaming. We have chatted in many streams, but never had the opportunity to actually raid Cromer before. So again, it's one of those Twitch friends from another time zone that we just haven't had the opportunity to share the love with. But we'll appreciate if you guys are going to stick around for the raid. Like I said, we'll keep things up to date on Twitter and on the Discord. CutieViz, what's going on? How have you been? Glad to see you. I do apologize. We are just finishing off things tonight, but good to see you as always. We'll be back in some new time zones. The beard is wonderful. The beard is lush. The beard is life. But we're going to send you guys over to another fellow beardsmith, Cromer Gaming. We'll keep you guys up to date. Like I said, tomorrow I'll be live tweeting from the golf course. You'll find out how many golf balls I've lost after my first time back on the fairway, hopefully, in over 10 years. So that'll be interesting. So keep an eye on the Discord. Keep an eye on Twitter for updates when the next stream is going to be. I have the schedule posted weekly on my Twitch schedule page. But until then, I will refund that there, Cutie. I think the Oran board keeps crashing. But we'll see you guys. Thank you once again for all the subscriptions, all the bits, all the wonderful thing. My name is Tom. I am Astronomy, and I'm not here to change the world. I'm here to share the universe. Thank you very much, and have a great night, everybody.
Oh, Astro! What's up, Astro? Welcome in, Raiders! Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, I don't know how to say that name. Welcome in, Mojo, Security Live, Astro. Oh my gosh, it's like everybody from Nutty Stream is here. Well, you guys are about to get a show. What's up, Sam Hung? Samsung? What's up, guys? Welcome in, everybody. For you guys that don't know me, my name is Cromer. I do a lot of Pokemon here, you know, like shiny hunting and Nuzlockes and stuff. And we also play Mario Kart. And the reason I'm putting this thing on my head right now is they just redeemed a blindfolded gameplay. So I guess, how long did I say it for? For like 5 minutes or? It says 5. Be nice and join the Discord voice chat and guide me around. Yeah, so basically, I guess we'll do an entire race blindfolded, so... Astro Race!